Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Joint Failures.
Welcome.
Coming up, it's our fail news segment.
Yep, we've got coffee, prostitutes, porn stars, golf, interspecies love, etc.
Whoa, and then for the first time ever on Joint Failures, a food review, and we're kicking it off with a chocolate bacon bar. That's
Nice.
right, there's actually bacon in this chocolate bar, and we're going to try it live on the show. And then, of course, it's our favorite segment ever, Thing versus
Other Thing!
It's the hottest actresses in Hollywood. Then, Chris and John go to the movies with a look at Avatar.
Yep, we got the numbers. We're going to check it out.
Did it change everything? You'll have to wait and find out.
Think on it. And check out my horse, Paul.
Wow, your horse is amazing.
It's my show! Joint Failures.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Joint Failures, episode 10. My name is Chris.
I'm John.
All right, we got a big episode full of stuff, everybody.
It's been a little while.
Been a little while, so we
Yeah.
got a lot to talk about. Up, we've got some fail news. We've got to talk about stuff that's in the news that we just find kind of, in the general genre of fail.
Right.
And then after that, we have got a first ever Jupiter Broadcasting review, a product review like no other before. Chocolate covered bacon. We've got a chocolate
Maybe it's
covered.
good, maybe it's good.
We got a chocolate covered bacon candy bar right here, and we're going to review it
pretty
live
much
on
a
the show.
$6 candy bar.
We've never had it,
No.
but it is literally just chocolate pieces with bacon inside, and it looks delicious.
Maybe, or it might be horrible.
Chocolate covered bacon coming up, and we'll have a review of that after.
You can
the
watch
news.
us retch.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Might be
then
interesting.
after we do the chocolate bacon review, we're going to do Thing versus
Other Thing!
and,
got it.
The thing we'll be versing is hot girls.
Hot girls.
We're
yeah.
both going to pick a hot girl and defend why it's the hottest girl ever.
Right.
And then we'll wrap up the show with Chris and John go to the movies without John and talk a little bit about Avatar.
Yes.
And did it really change everything? What do you think? Do you think? We'll find out.
Kind of did.
We'll have to save it.
Yeah. So maybe I'm going to take that back.
Maybe. All right. Our top story, because it's just funny to me, is kind of one. Some people might say this is an off limits topic.
No,
Tiger Woods' love life might be off limits.
No,
we
to
haven't
them
talked
we say
about it
hush.
To them we say we don't need you. You don't listen then.
Right.
Fast forward 2 minutes.
So Tiger, if you're watching.
Right. Tiger, we're sorry. We just had to do it. It's news, buddy.
Right.
So if you've been following the Tiger Woods story closely enough like I have, you know that you can now purchase golf balls with the faces of the mistresses that Tiger Woods slept with on the ball itself.
Yes. Finally.
Classy. The Mistress Collection is what it's called.
Yeah.
And one of the gals that Tiger Woods stepped out with is not happy that she's on the golf ball.
She happens to be a porn star.
She happens to be a porn actress, John.
Porn actress, yes. Not a
can-
star. She hasn't quite reached the star level
You
yet.
can grab your monitor if you want to hear what she has to say. There's your feet.
Okay.
Porn actress Veronica Daniels
Oh, it sounds kinda
now claims
funny.
She had an affair with scandal-plagued Tiger Woods.
Then I won't
Her
listen.
name
It
has
sounds
already been
kinda funny.
repeatedly linked to
Sorry,
Tiger,
everybody.
But this is the image. She
That's
says
the image
she
right
claims
there.
public.
Right.
As part of
So what she's upset about is that people are hitting her with clubs.
She thinks she is upset not because she slept with Tiger Woods is on a golf ball. Well, that's part of it. But what she's
Right.
what she's concerned about is the fact that her being on a golf ball might encourage violence because you're going to be out there with a dangerous golf club.
So basically what she's worried about is you could run into her on the street and say, hey, you know what? I've hit you with the club before and it was okay.
So I might as well hit you with my club now in real life.
Which I brought with me.
Which I always keep a golf club in my back pocket just in
Right.
case that situation ever comes
She's
up.
like, I can't go to golf courses anymore. She's just worried about it, maybe.
Side note,
Yeah.
this means that Tiger Woods was sleeping with a porn star.
Right.
I heard that's crazy.
I know.
So
They do things.
they don't have the boundaries, is what I'm told. They don't have the boundaries.
Yeah.
Interesting enough. So you better get this. Again, it's called the Mistress Collection, and you've got to get it while it's hot
Limited time only.
because
right.
they're trying to pull them off the market because of safety.
Right,
All
because
right.
of safety.
The next story is a funny one. And now this one has a little bit. That was our humorous cultural story, John.
Yeah,
You like
that
how
was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
I thought we should be
find.
cultural.
Yeah.
The next one is a little techie, and
Okay.
it's one of those that just makes you want to hit your head. So an executive from Microsoft has spoken out, and he says, "You know what we need? We need an internet driver's license."
Yes. Thank you for reading your suggestion box, internet.
Yeah, you've been
Right?
saying that for a while now.
Yeah. Well, I just don't think it's right that
I
just
love-
anybody can browse.
I love that this guy's quote is one of the questions I get all the time is, why isn't there a license to use the internet?
Right.
My ass, he gets that all the
Yeah,
time.
I know. And also,
What a
just what
joker.
are the chances he hears that and he's like, I agree. You know
Right,
what?
Right. So his idea is
People go to other sites.
it's so ridiculous.
I know.
Here's the preface of his idea. This is his quote. I think this is him. He says, "Driver's license would allow people to not be anonymous online because one of the things you have with all of the hacking and all of the mean comments on YouTube is people are anonymous. So if you give them a license, then they can't be anonymous, and therefore you know who everybody is. And that's really important because we're doing all these private things online, like online banking and stock management and stuff like that. So we all need to be identified, and that way everything's safer online. It's such a crackpot idea. Could you even imagine managing this? And it's a reflection of the people at Microsoft, how out of touch they are at different levels of today.
It's just so ridiculous.
It's so
like,
out of touch.
No, I really think we should have this.
I'll link to the show notes. In the show notes of the story, the New York Times blog did a nice write up on it. If you're interested in reading it.
Yeah, it's just. Can everybody please throw stones at me and laugh at me?
I know.
That's what the quote's
Can
for.
I please be the ridicule of the internet for a week? But speaking of ridicule of the internet for a week, this one. How do you pass this up? Right. Starting, this is the word's out there, but I think it officially starts kicking off in different cities. It's initially going to be rolled out to 13 cities around the United States. Starting the week this comes out, Comcast will be rebranding to Xfinity.
Good. Finally.
Xfinity, don't misunderstand either. It's Xfinity with an X.
Right.
Because X's
like
are
extreme.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I think Gizmodo nailed it here with a little Buzz Lightyear to Xfinity. And beyond,
right? X for your browsing habits.
So they're rebranding, not the whole company. This is it's one of these confusing things. So Comcast, the name.
It's just why everybody knows Comcast. It's not like anybody has any questions about it.
It has baggage.
Well, Xfinity's just going to have so much more baggage.
Oh yeah, it's baggage to Xfinity.
We're gonna rename ourselves Super Cool.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just
super trying to be hip. Because X is dangerous.
Right.
And hip. So they're going to be the internet service, their TV service, and their phone service will be rebranded Xfinity. Now, one of the reasons they're doing is they're also rolling out their new Comcast technology called DOCSIS 3.
Okay.
And DOCSIS 3 is people are going to be mad at me, but my rough understanding of DOCSIS 3 is it's your current cable internet technology bonded. So if you can get 15 megabits today.
Right.
Double that.
Okay.
Worthy.
Right. Cool.
And so while they're rolling that out, they're also going to roll out the name changes to Xfinity, which is always really weird to me when you think about you're not going to change your name everywhere at once. Yeah, that's also weird.
Now here's what bothers me the most.
It's like sci-fi. It's as bad as SYFY, SYFY.
Here's what bothers me about this, and same thing with SYFY. It's they're a big enough company that they did not do this without market research, so they found out that more people would like Xfinity than Comcast. And that's just a problem with you, America. Now, I'm sure not our listeners.
No.
But come on. like who's like, you know what? I think Xfinity sounds a lot better.
Okay. I have the same argument with a sci-fi. I have the same thoughts with there was another company that renamed recently. And also you look at Singular was AT&T, then they became Singular, now they're back.
It's not just that other people like it better; it's that people like it enough because this kind of change costs millions of dollars. This is not a free change.
It's something that's dramatic. And they have something like 46 million customers.
God.
And tons of employees. It's a huge effort. And it's so weird. Like these big companies, they end up just thinking, well, we can't really fix this problem, but if we name change,
right?
It's dumb. I'm actually an ex-Comcast user. Interesting. I had a Comcast business line.
Yes. And
good speed.
Okay.
Good price.
Hit me
roughly.
Again. Yeah.
Contract was a year contract, I think, and it was $1,400 to break.
Okay.
$1,400 contract termination.
That's ridiculous.
And what happened? And I didn't get suckered into this, but what happened was Verizon came into our town and was rolling out FiOS, which is awesome. And what Comcast did, literally, while the FiOS guys were out on the street digging up to lay the fiber down, a Comcast van, an Xfinity van pulled up and literally unloaded minions, and they went to houses to re-sign people up.
Same thing with us. I got that. Yeah, I got somebody coming we just want to make sure you're happy with your service. We just signed up, really, because we just moved in, and then then FiOS became available where we were at.
Right.
So we were fine. We're just gonna kind of stick it out really for a little bit, but yeah, they came by just when we were getting And we were getting it in the mail like every week. We were like great
shady.
deals with Verizon Fios. And yeah, it's
shady.
totally shady.
It's ridiculous. So
and they have that campaign now too. Like, I thought Fios was going to be great, but I'm going back to Comcast. Have you seen those ads?
I didn't see that part of it. I've only seen "Dear Comcast, I want to come back" on billboards.
Yeah.
I never saw the precursor to it. I just assumed, but it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird because if you drive around my town, like down we have a main state street. If you drive down this main street, it's these billboards. It's just "Dear Comcast, I want to come back." Blue billboard, yellow text with a guy.
Right, and it's directly responding to the Fios. And it's just like who's really going back? Who's like, whoa, slow down there, internet.
This is too fast, and the picture quality's
Hold
too much better.
I don't have enough time to make my breakfast. I'm already having my side. Like,
my email's loading too fast. I want back. I know, it's ridiculous.
Great darn it.
Gosh darn it, the superior technology using fiber optics is too nice. I want my copper back.
14K.
Right. So before we move on to more stories, we've got a good one. We've got a local interest story involving prostitution and bikini baristas that's coming up.
Finally, the story's here. We're going to break it for you.
Yeah, we'll break it. But before we get to that, we've got to talk about a man who married his dog to lift a curse.
Now, see, this is what happens when you allow gay marriage in some states.
Right?
Right.
It takes slippery slope.
Yeah, it's slippery slope for one, and then you get the direct results in India, of course.
Yeah, well, because it's a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
It's a butterfly effect, and so because we have gay marriage in California, there is now a man marrying a dog in India.
India, yes.
It's you. I'm sorry, everybody out there. I don't have time to draw you a map if you can't figure it out. All right, so this is real. So this guy, he marries a dog to
Why did he
lift
do
a
it?
curse. Well, here's the story, Johnny John.
Okay.
So it turns out this guy stoned some dogs 15 years ago.
Okay.
Stoned a couple of dogs to death. Now that's kind of dark and twisted in its own right. And
then didn't he stoned him, and then he strung
them from a tree.
Yeah.
And then
as a warning to other dogs.
I would assume.
Right.
I mean, that's why you hang anything from a tree. You know, that's why the mailman's hung from a tree out back, alive. But it's a warning to other mailmen.
Yes.
If you come around here, you're gonna get hung up. And so this guy, he's 33 years old, and after he stoned these dogs 15 years ago and then hung them from a tree, he started having these weird problems.
Paralyzed. Loses hearing in one ear.
Loses hearing in one ear. Paralyzed in his legs and hands. That's a big deal.
Right.
I mean, I use my legs and hands. I'm using my hands right now, and I'm not even really supposed to be using them. I use them all the time.
I could take it or leave it.
You don't need them? No.
Well, they're useful occasionally.
As long as you got your food slot,
When
you're
I'm
good,
alone.
right?
What?
Food slot. As long as you got your food slot, you're good.
Yeah.
So this dude is like, he tries everything the doctors, he goes to doctors, you know, these Indian doctors are top notch. You cannot beat these Indian doctors.
Right.
And so this guy, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody can fix it. He tries taking baths because those usually fix everything. The baths don't help. And then he says,
why isn't this water fixing my paralyzed body?
Right? So one day he's sitting around and he goes, I got it. You know what I need? I need to marry
medication.
A dog. I need to marry a dog because these
what do I need? Psychoanalysis.
So this guy literally decides, I'm only going to break this curse if I marry a dog. So the dude arranges a marriage with a dog. Now, here's a few interesting things. Okay, so again, he...
the only reason I'm against this, Chris, is because it's not about love.
Yeah, it's
for a selfish reason.
Yeah, that's true. So family members went out, and remember, because he's kind of paralyzed, so he's not super functional. But, you know, functional enough. I mean, am I right? Right. And so family members went out and chose a stray female dog. Then they bathed the dog and clothed it for the wedding occasion.
He's got to look pretty.
And then one little side note, the dog during the marriage ceremony did bolt because of the crowds, they think.
Yeah, maybe.
But
maybe that's why it bolted.
They managed to go find the dog and bring the dog back for the ceremony. That way the dog could be adorned with an orange cloth and a flower wreath.
Yes.
Which is very nice for it's traditional. They had a Hindu priest perform the marriage because they wanted it to be official.
Yes.
So
human priest.
I like the line here, like the dog ran away and they brought the dog back to its new husband. That's a good one. So the dog is only for lifting the curse, and then after that he plans to go get a real bride. So it's not a long-term thing here. But
you can just picture that question with like his future bride. So like, how married were you to this dog? Like,
yeah, like the future girlfriend. Like, so when you say you married a dog, well, and you know what else he can say? He can say, yeah, but she was a real bitch. Ching.
Ching.
Am I right? I never thought I'd get to use that in the right way.
Yeah,
I just did.
And you did.
So, all right. The next story on our list here is not quite as entertaining, but this is news. This is the fail news, everybody, and this is a
political
big fail.
bent here because some people might believe in this stuff.
So, Jeff and Marcy Beagley, which I gotta say up front, this is mean for me to say, but they're overweight people, and when you have a name like Beagley. You know what I'm saying? Beagley's. That sounds like a fat person's name.
Not as bad as like Bustly.
That sounds like someone who has big breasts.
That'd be Bustly.
Oh. Or Tuberson.
Fatly. Yeah.
Stanley Tuberson.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, all right. So I shouldn't be making light.
Right.
This is actually pretty sad. Gonna bring it down a notch, everyone.
Yeah.
So,
stop being happy.
So this happened in Oregon, which is just south of us. Jeff and Marcy Beagley testified that they did everything they could for their 16-year-old son before he died, but a jury decided that just wasn't enough. What they did was they performed prayer and oil for their son, who, get this,
Had a urinary tract infection.
died from a urinary tract infection, which developed to a blood infection.
Right.
Here's what's crazy. These people just had a granddaughter that died from something similar when prayer didn't work for that granddaughter. They lost a granddaughter, and then a few months later, they lost their son. So this is really sad. So it's a 50. Here's the this is a 15. This is another kid that died. He's 15 months old. He had a blood infection. He died. This is a picture of the older kid. He also died. I mean, they just have all these people around them that are dying off because the faith healing and prayer is not working. At what point?
That's exactly it. I mean, I think people have a right to believe whatever they want to believe.
But
and
at
they
what
can
point
do
do you
they
stop
can
and
do
have critical thought?
Well, and you can do it if it's yourself, but if you're affecting other people, like, a child who, I just don't think that's...
It plays into our vaccines. I mean, it is.
Right.
It's on a much less evil scale. We've gone back and forth on vaccines for our son Dylan, because you do have to make choices for them at this age.
Right. I personally am very pro-vaccine.
But I just, when you've had this much death around you, at what point does it take to challenge your fundamental beliefs?
Yeah.
What point and if some humans don't have this switch that says, wait a minute, okay, 2 experiments just failed the worst case possible way. Third one's
when you get to that point, just when you get to that point, like, you think like, okay, this isn't working.
Too much.
Yeah.
You hear about it too much.
I mean, I remember hearing about it like probably literally 15 years ago. Same kind of deal. People going to jail for just
Let me tell
praying
you,
in oils, that kind of stuff.
If I was these people and I had an erection for 4 hours, I would not rely on faith healing for a 4-hour erection, let alone a blood disease.
Right.
Where it's killed. And you imagine how painful that was?
I know. And it's
Awful.
just, it's horrible.
It's totally awful. It's worst people in the world. Maybe worst people in the world.
No, it's just, I wouldn't say worst. I'd say, I don't want to say selfish. I mean, because really you can do it if it's yourself, fine. If you're old enough, you're an adult, you're making that decision for yourself. That's one thing.
That's true.
Selfish and technically they're the child's guardian, but I still think they do not have that right to make that decision for their child. That child can make that decision for himself once he's 18, once he's, knows more about things, but it's just not fair. And
I absolutely agree.
This is what happens.
But,
Anyway, back to prostitutes.
All right, so on to prostitutes. So this next story here it has a local bent for us.
Very local.
There's been recently in the city in which near both of us live,
okay.
kind of between us, really, the city between us, had a crackdown on bikini barista stands because there was alleged...
Which were popping up everywhere. I don't think they're as big other place in the country.
Maybe not, because
we're like a big coffee place.
Just
a Starbucks.
They're almost all, if they're not in Starbucks, they're almost all bikinis.
So people are competing, so they just try and get them sexier and sexier so people will come to them.
Yeah.
And they were everywhere.
Yeah. And there was then some rumors they had to up the ante by offering prostitution. And I guess my understanding is there was an entire
method
system.
Well, here's what I know about it. Okay,
all right, go.
Now it's kind of like a little bit away from me because it's my sister's friend. My sister's friend talked to a number of these baristas, 3 different baristas with the exact same story.
Yeah,
they were bikini baristas, and they were talking to her because they had a drug problem. And here's what they told this story is: they started off working for a
hold on
barista.
one second, I just want to say something real quick.
Okay,
in this picture, they blurred out the back of the girls.
Right.
There's nothing exposed there.
But they just show that it's bad. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So these girls would start off as a bikini barista. And all of these places were owned by local strip clubs.
Right.
And the owner of the strip clubs would say, you know what?
It makes sense. It is actually, from a business standpoint, I respect.
Right. Okay.
I respect.
Fine. So he said, you know what? This is good, but you can make more money as a waitress. You know, you don't have to strip. You can just be a waitress at one of the strip clubs. So they do that. And then they'd move on to
waitressing. So they
then
go from
they'd
waitressing.
move on to stripping.
Right. So they start as a bikini barista.
Yes.
Then they move to waitress.
Right.
Then they move
waitress
to
at a strip club. And then they move on to stripping. And then they move on to prostitution. And the way it worked was a customer who would go to the coffee stand.
It's a system designed to just kind of guide the girl into making the next choice.
Yeah.
So they don't pressure her into it.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I'm making a little, but it's like little bit of, there's a little carrot each step.
Yeah, a little bit at a time. So it's more money, you know, just dangling. So so then they go to stripping, and then from stripping they'd go to prostitution.
Naturally.
Back at, you know, like same kind of bikini baristas, and then they go to drugs to.
And my understanding is they wouldn't go back and work at the barista.
No, they go back. Correct. So
they were on call basically.
Yeah. So the way it works, according to what I've heard, is the customer goes to the bikini barista, and if they want the prostitution bonus on their coffee, they write their phone number on the tip.
On the tip. Interesting.
And then they get called, and a time is set up, and they meet them back. They meet someone else back.
Because the tip money would never make it into the register.
See, I think those
so
places.
There's no trace.
See, I don't know exactly how that works. I think most of those places are cash only. So I don't know if they just gave their phone number
on a slip of paper
or how
or something.
It worked exactly, but
I guess there's also supposed to be a code word.
There might have been code word,
Yeah,
but according to what my sister heard, is you write your phone number on, and then they meet you up. They meet up with you later, and just one of those ones who used to work at a bikini barista.
So it's a little bit of bait and switch, because you see the hottie at the barista stand,
right?
But that's not who you end up.
No, but it's generally probably someone decent looking if they were originally at one point a bikini barista.
That's true.
So
interesting enough. So the ones around here have been shut down, and they've been passing all these kind of rules now regarding decency, and like no more pasties. Right. Some of them were just in pasties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like just it's fun driving by, but yeah.
All right. So that's all the news we have, but now it's time to get into the serious business.
Okay.
And that is Moe's Bacon Bar here. Now, this is a serious piece of candy. Little nutrition facts for you. There's three for every 3 squares, and you can kind of see here if you're watching the video version what the squares look like.
That's the only way we know. We haven't opened this yet.
Right, we haven't opened it yet, but for every 3 squares, there is 160 calories, 11 grams of fat, 5 milligrams of cholesterol,
and 1 heart attack.
And 105 milligrams of sodium, and 1 heart attack.
Okay.
Also 15 carbs. Just FYI, 15 grams. So this is Moe's Bacon Bar, and you can find. I've never tried it. We don't know if it's good or not. But at VOSGESchocolate.com. I don't know. You see the name Vosages or something.
Right.
All right. So
here we go.
Little try. I can see. Okay.
You can smell the bacon.
So it's got pieces of bacon in it.
Yeah.
It's not like one large piece of bacon.
Right. No, it's not one just candy bar sized piece of bacon.
I thought
different
maybe it
chocolate.
was like literally because on the box they have a piece of bacon. I thought maybe it was
no
like laid throughout the box.
But it looks like there's enough bacon in here. I mean,
you know what? It looks like you would almost have toffee instead of toffee. It's bacon.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for it. You take a bite, and then I'll take a bite.
You can taste the bacon. It's salty.
My first initial impression is not good, but then as I eat it more, I like it.
Me too. Me too. It's actually pretty good chocolate too, which is good because again, this is a $6 candy bar.
The surface of the chocolate almost has a meaty quality to it, and I didn't like that.
It has exactly a meaty quality to it.
Mm-hmm. That's weird, but as you eat it, it's not bad.
That's not. It's salty. I mean, you can really taste the extra salt from bacon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Applewood smoked bacon, alderwood smoked salt, and deep milk chocolate.
41% cocoa. Yeah.
You know what? I would not eat this all the time, but on a rare occasion, or like out as a holiday dish.
Mm-hmm.
Why the heck not?
Why not?
So,
if it's got bacon, you know what that means? You can put it on your breakfast sandwiches.
Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! Like the McGriddle sandwich, only instead of syrup in there, you put bacon and chocolate, right?
God.
Make this into a McGriddle sandwich.
Why are we the fattest nation on the country in the world?
I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's not bad. All right, the first Joint Failures candy review.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you never thought, you never know. You tune into Joint Failures, you never know what you're gonna get.
That's salty.
Speaking of what you're gonna get, you know what it is? It is time for the hottest girl versus other hottest girl in our next segment, Thing versus
Other Thing!
All right, and welcome to the most anticipated segment of this
Right.
week's episode. This week, it is Kristin Kreuk versus Scarlett Johansson. Now, these are a couple of our favorites. We have to say, I'm going with ScarJo.
I'm going with Kirsten.
You're going with Kristin. And we're going to argue as to why, in my case, I'll be arguing why Scarlett Johansson is the hotter of the two actresses and talented, and John will be doing the same for Kristin. Now,
except for the talented part.
because I'm a nice guy, Johnny John, I'm going to let you throw in your first salvo as to why you think Kristin Kreuk wins out on Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, so I will start by this. Wait, you got?
Sorry.
Leave it up.
All right.
See
that?
Look at that. Look at that. Okay, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Look,
She's
they're kind of
watching
green.
you, John.
She's I think she's Chinese Dutch or something. And okay, for a while she was a little too skinny. She started off in Smallville. That's when I first saw her.
Yeah, me too.
And looked amazing.
Big fan of her work in Smallville.
Well,
not of her work, but of her in Smallville.
You know what? She was okay in Smallville. I actually thought she was a good.
It was her writing that wasn't so good.
Right. I think that she's had some mistakes. She was in the Legend of
Like her
Chun-Li or
career.
whatever stuff. Right.
Like her career.
But she's in Chuck now, which I think she gets points for.
That is a good pick. Yeah, that is a good.
And looks great in Chuck. She's filled out a little bit more. She's still not huge on the boob department, but she's nice. Got some nice legs.
Right. We got a shot here of the boob department.
Yeah. Still not bad. And just, I mean, look, the face is like I literally, when I first saw Smallville, when Small first came on and they show her face, I giggled because I'm like, I
you
cannot.
took pause and you giggled.
Yeah, by myself, like I was alone, like a sad little man watching television. I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous. She's so pretty. She's so pretty.
I will admit, I had the same reaction to Miss Scarlett Johansson.
Right, and she's a very pretty woman.
You gotta give it to this Scarlett Jo. She is an attractive lady, and I might also throw out. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this card right now.
Right.
The more impressive career according here to.
Okay, definitely the more impressive career so far. So
you're saying, as far as talent, would you give it to Scarlett Johansson?
I will concede talent for Scarlett Johansson. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now,
although I really don't think that Kristin Kreuk is a bad actress. I think she was
right.
Legend of Chun-Li. I haven't seen. I'm going to ignore. I'm just going to assume that she was awful in it. But I do think she plays. I think she's actually
a safe bet.
I think it probably has to do with the writing, but I think she's just so far in Chuck she's been really good, and I thought she did decent work in Smallville actually.
Right. I thought she did good with what she was given. Now I say that as a big fan of Smallville.
Yeah.
So she is definitely a very gorgeous actress, and there's lots of different pictures of both of them on the internet. But the question is, which of the two is more attractive? Now,
what I think this is going to come down to, Chris, personally for me, is face versus body.
I think it's going to be face versus boobs. Let's be honest. It's face versus boobs.
And
I'll give you Scarlett Johansson's face is not necessarily
okay. So she's pretty, but that is not the best picture of her right there.
I picked the worst face picture.
Right.
I figured to be fair, I'll pick the worst face picture.
She looks a little ducky right there. Her nose looks a little bit too large.
Aren't you
critiquing?
Aren't you the picky man here?
While we're going versus Kristin Kreuk. Look, I think that Scarlett Johansson is absolutely gorgeous.
I'll give you. I think Kreuk does win in the face department.
Okay, go back to that face picture. Go back to the face picture.
Right here.
You can just see her eyes. See her just looking at you.
You got to give those a shop though.
Yes, but some of the pictures you're showing of Scarlett are
going to be photoshopped.
Right.
Now, though, when you move, I think that said, I picked the bad face here.
Right.
I don't think that's that bad.
Right.
Moving forward, I don't think her face is that bad in general. And then
I don't think so. That's a great picture.
When you bring it in with the overall picture.
Yeah,
I think you've got a winning combination here.
That's a really good picture you're looking at right now. It's a really good picture.
I know.
It's a good picture. Granted,
I think her overall package, even in her bad shots, is still not that bad.
But look, that's a great face. See, I think it's a above average face that goes great with the body. So look at that, and you can kind of see.
Let's throw out there, to be fair. Let's throw out there our bad shots.
Okay, so this is admittedly a bad shot of Kristin Kreuk. Her hair doesn't look great. It's obviously not Photoshop, but what really gets it.
It's a candid shot.
It's a candid shot. It's that she's too skinny. She's too skinny right there.
She's way too skinny.
And that is in the past.
She almost looks sick. I don't know how much in the past this is though.
We don't know, but if you look at her in Chuck right now, she looks. I mean, she doesn't look big by any means, but she could probably stand to gain a little bit of weight.
She looks healthier.
She looks good, I think.
And then I'd say this is ScarJo's worst picture. This is a paparazzi shot here, and the thing that really bothers me about this ScarJo shot is it's the nose ring. She's got. I can't really.
I mean, you can still tell.
If I zoom in here, you might be able to tell.
To be fair, she still looks pretty there. She's still pretty. You can still tell that she's pretty, and she's still.
You see
except
that?
for the nose ring, I'm not a fan of.
Not a big fan of that.
Personally, my own preference, I'm not a fan of nose ring, and I just don't think that's something Kristin Kreuk would do.
But in her worst,
Right.
Which this is admittedly a pretty bad get up here. I mean, this is bad as it gets here. I still think she's beating out Kreuk at her worst as far as good looks go. And on top of that, I know that underneath all of this stuff lies a treasure chest of goodness.
Even though she's being boned by Ryan Reynolds, who was in the Wolverine movie.
Oh my goodness! Well, all right.
And
I'll give you that, but
okay.
One thing you haven't mentioned yet for Scarlett Johansson that I think you could totally, I have no argument against, and that is the voice. Not a big fan of the voice. She smokes too much weed, and she's got that. Some chicks get that deep, heavy weed voice when they smoke. And
yeah, she does, and she has it. See, I don't mind like a little bit of sultriness, like as long as it's not like doesn't sound like a man. And I don't think she's quite at that, but it is a little bit too low. It's a little bit too much.
Now we don't know. We don't know what Kristin Kreuk's personal situation is regarding like marriage and things like that.
No, as far as I know, she's waiting for me.
Probably a safe assumption.
Sorry, Kristin.
And I believe.
Sorry.
I believe that while Kristin may be waiting for you, I believe Scarlett Johansson simply married Ryan Reynolds to get over the pain. She probably saw me on YouTube. I mean, that's what everybody does. That pained her to such an extent that she married Ryan Reynolds. So I am in a way responsible for that marriage. I must find her and correct that error.
To me, now Kristin Kreuk seems like, and this is probably just my own imagination, but she seems like pretty nice, pretty regular, easygoing girl. Doesn't get a big head about being an actress, probably, maybe.
You think Scarlett does?
I think she does.
I think you're making assumptions, sir.
I think she's known as like Woody Allen's muse.
You know
what?
How
do you not get a big head over that?
You know what? That's a face. That is a face of somebody who is down to earth. Look at that outfit. How's that outfit not down to earth? That's pretty low key.
It's down to earth, right?
That's pretty
it's like,
low-key.
Please don't recognize me is what it is.
Yeah, but this picture here of Kristin Kreuk is, I'm slowly killing myself by not eating.
Go back to the other one, though. Go back to the other one.
What, this one?
Yeah, or the black and white one, or that one. Look at that. Look at that.
It's not.
How do you... Okay, so
just saying. Do we have a winner here or a loser here? I'm gonna give it to Scarlett. I think you take Scarlett Johansson. You take her overall package, which I think she still has a great face, and in some shots she has an amazing face. Take her acting career and her talent.
Okay.
And her weed smoker means she's probably relaxed, cool to hang out with.
Right.
But I will give you that overall the marriage to Ryan Reynolds is a knock against her, and the voice is a knock against her. But I think those things don't compete against the overall package.
Okay. Hold on. Let's go this route first. All right. So who would you rather be married to? Let's say
Scarlett
let's say we
Johansson.
weren't married now.
Scarlett
You'd
Johansson.
rather be married to.
Are you kidding me?
Really? She doesn't seem like that interesting to me. Though she doesn't seem that interesting.
First of all,
she's gorgeous.
She's freaking smart. She's known for being extremely smart.
Really?
She's known for being extremely smart.
Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I can't argue that. For all I know, Ryan Reynolds is a bright guy. I don't know.
Maybe he is. He's funny enough.
So she loves to read.
Okay.
She loves to watch movies. She
I like those things.
Likes
Chris.
to have a good time. That
doesn't mean I'm a genius.
She likes to bone. She got married. She likes to bone.
Right. Okay. Fine. She likes bone. Fine.
Kristin Kreuk won't even do shots without a body double. So who do you want to be married to, sir?
Someone who's a little bit more modest,
or somebody who's going to have a good time. You got to give it to me. I think you got it.
I'm going to give you this one, Chris, because you need one. Only because you need one.
Well, they didn't see the last. Lost the last thing for something where nobody saw. I lost miserably to that one.
Yeah, that was great. Best superpower,
but for
best
everybody
superhero,
knows.
And my dad won. My dad won, people.
Yeah, but they never saw it.
I know.
We don't even have a backup copy. It's a tragedy.
Yeah. Okay. So you get Scarlett Johansson.
That's right. All right. We got ScarJo. Now we're winding down the show, but the one last thing that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Chris and John, that's you and me.
We go see
Avatar.
Well,
I went and saw Avatar.
Yeah.
Johnny here didn't get a chance, but that doesn't mean
I don't have ideas about what I would have seen.
He has an opinion still, and it's just as valid as somebody else that did see it. In my opinion.
No, probably just as valid as someone else who didn't see it.
Okay. All right. Okay. You can't really argue with that. Now, off the top, I went and saw it. Of course, the movie looks amazing. It is visually.
I wasn't as impressed.
Okay, all right, that's fair from somebody who didn't see it. That's a fair statement. It looks good. The story is a little weak. I have to agree with people out there, but that's not what I'm not going to review Avatar because that's been done a bajillion times.
Right. Okay.
What I want to talk about is, did Avatar really change the world? Did it change movies forever? Some would say Titanic did. Do you think that's true?
I think give James Cameron too much credit. I don't think so.
All right, let's take a look at the show notes here.
Okay.
Here's some of the interesting facts we've got on the show notes. It got an 84 on Metacritic.
Okay, so that means reviewers in general liked it. That's a pretty decent idea. So that means that even if the message was a little bit preachy about maybe war and environmentalism and that kind of stuff, people still liked it.
It also had a budget of $237 million. Now that's
crazy.
That's fairly dead on. Now there's been some people that said maybe it was $300 million. But this is confirmed by 3 sources that it was $237 million.
Okay, and a lot of this goes to, if I'm not mistaken, James Cameron inventing like a new technology to film. Is that correct?
But I thought like Star Trek, the most recent Star Trek movie had like a $200 million budget. Like it's not that crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay.
But I don't know. I could be wrong. But here's what is crazy. So far, as of this recording, a gross revenue of $2 billion. That's incredible. That's incredible. And
it's too bad they're not making more.
James Cameron has confirmed there will be a sequel.
What?
There will be indeed a sequel.
Weird.
So I went and saw it. Now, initially, I was a big anti-go see it in 3D guy. I said, don't go see this movie in 3D, and here's why.
I will see this movie, but there's no way I'm not going to see it in 3D.
Here's what the thing about 3D is. First of all, I thought it'd be corny. Okay. And they did do some plays to the 3D. There was a few like nods. Oh yeah, this is 3D. And there's also a few scenes where like, if this wasn't in 3D, I don't know how I'd be seeing this right now. This has to be in 3D. So it did actually become a way to display the medium, which was good. Mm-hmm. And the thing I was concerned about is 3D glasses. They're inactive shaded glasses, different shades.
Right.
And anytime you put, it's like wearing sunglasses at a movie theater. You're reducing the amount of light that can bounce off the screen into your eyes. Therefore, it's not going to be as vivid, as bright. But the movie is so colorful and so bright that it makes up for that. And the 3D...
Well, it's designed to be seen in 3D. I mean, like, it's not just like, let's add it. It's like, this is how we will keep people coming to the movie theaters.
It adds, it puts you there.
Mm-hmm. I think this is...
It's like...
Even though I haven't seen it, I think this is a movie that has to be seen in the theater.
It's not like 3D.
Which I think is why it's doing so well.
Yeah, I agree. It is a have to see in the theater. That's a great point. And it's not one of those movies where like something just gets thrown out in the audience. It's wacky. Mm-hmm. That does happen once or twice. But it's adding more background. It's adding more depth to the movie, to the picture. It's putting you in the room. You literally feel like you're in the room when they're sitting there planning an invasion.
And it's about like a virtual reality kind of thing almost too, right? So it's kind of fitting in a way.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
And the graphics are...
Gotta see the graphics. Wait until you see the dog.
The graphics are just amazing. Yeah. And there's a dog in there that you would swear to God is either like the most expensive animatronics dog ever, or it is a CG dog that just looks like an incredible dog. I don't know which one it was. I couldn't tell.
There's actually a dog.
Beautiful golden retriever. No, there's no dog.
Okay. Right.
But anyways,
that's what my dad said to me when he saw The Abyss. He's like, "Wait till you see the dog."
That's what we said to our buddy Kevin when we went and saw that George Clooney movie.
Right. There's no dog. Solaris.
Yeah. Which there is a dog in Solaris.
Yes, there is a dog in Solaris.
You never know.
Right.
So
we also told him that Yoda went to like 5 times his size and Star
Which that was awesome.
Yeah.
We told.
He's a gullible guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't watch the show.
So all right, that is the part that I want to hear from everybody out there. What did you guys out there think of the 3D technology?
Was it game changing? Should there be? Should this be the new thing? Like,
are you ready? Are you gonna?
Like, how quick will you get tired of this?
Are you gonna only go to the theater now for 3D stuff?
There's no way. No, I love going to a theater in general. I like the whole experience.
You haven't even seen it yet.
I don't care. Like it's like I already like going to 2D. Yeah, 2D's fine with me. Like. Well,
here's what pisses me off is for the home 3D, you got to do new TV, you got a new Blu-ray player, you got to do new HDMI.
And it's expensive, and all the bugs aren't worked out.
And you and I just both got new TVs.
Right.
I don't want to get a new TV.
I got one like a year ago.
Well, I got one like 2 years ago, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but I want to hear what the audience thinks because I'm curious to know. They're obviously desperately trying to do something to get us in the theater. Mm-hmm. I maintain if you just make great movies, people will show up.
Exactly.
This, as a movie, the storyline,
Right. So, I mean, that's the thing that I hear about this movie is I hear like, You need to see it. It's fantastic to watch. The story is okay. The story is just okay. So, like, when are they going to make something that's just like that? You know, just like have to watch that has amazing effects, puts you in it, and it's got the great story.
You've got these blue people.
Those
here.
should not be as rare as they are.
You got these blue people here, you know.
Yeah,
and they you actually get invested in these people. You actually care about their situation. The fact that they are 3D rendering is never an issue. Now it's because it's motion capture acted, but like the fact that a big part of this movie takes place in with virtual actors never once is
a problem,
a distraction. I think that is one of the groundbreaking. This changes everything.
Well, now people are seeing this multiple times. I mean, that's the only way to really explain how much money it's making. Now, yeah. Would you like to see this? No.
I saw it in 3D. I'm good.
Okay, so that I think speaks a lot about how good the movie is.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I agree. No, you're that's a good point.
Now it's nominated for a bunch of awards.
Yeah, well, it deserves visual effects awards.
Well, sure, but what about script and acting?
Acting was okay.
Acting was okay?
Yeah, acting was okay. The acting that was amazing was of the 3D characters. The actors and actresses that played that. What's the gal from Lost who got arrested for drunk driving?
Oh, yeah, I know her. I know what you're talking about. But...
She has...
Oh, like, Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah, she has like a... Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez.
There's two of them.
She has basically like a dozen lines. And one of the lines is literally a couple of times is her like flying a helicopter, looking back and going, really kind of weird, out of place, obnoxious kind of stuff. And that more than the visual effects, more than the play to 3D, that is the crap that took me out of the movie, because it's like, wait a minute, why is she in the movie?
And she's weird because she's can be very pretty and very ugly.
Yeah,
that's like you can kind of tell from that picture actually.
Yeah, well, this is a good shot because you can see through it. So, anyways, she's in the movie. Yeah, that's interesting, and I say everybody go see it in the theater while you can. I don't know if I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's not worth it if it's not in 3D?
No, I wouldn't say that. But because I've seen it now, yeah, I'll get it. It's still, and I'm curious to see it in 2D. Our buddy Brian went and saw it on the edge of the theater seats, so the 3D wasn't as good. So sitting in the middle made the 3D better.
Interesting.
Which now is going to basically take all these theater seats and make them right down the middle. Like they got to get there early to get 2 seats. Fascinating for everyone. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps up this episode of Joint Failures. If you'd like to give us feedback, head over to JupiterColony.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter. I'm twitter.com/ChrisLAS.
Your friend John?
That's your friend John. That's the famous your friend. You probably out there heard.
Yeah.
Your friend John on Twitter. That's him.
That's me.
That's this guy.
Hi.
You've been watching a show with him in it this whole time. You didn't even know. So, anyways, all right, everyone. Well, Joint Failures comes out every 2 weeks over at JupiterBroadcasting.com.
Yes.
Most of the time. And you can always catch the show by subscribing to its RSS feed or searching in iTunes.
Please do.
The show automatically. All right, we want to hear your feedback. Is 3D the way to go? Let us know in the comments. And
other things versus other things you want us to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Ideas for things versus other things. Let us know. And until next episode, thanks for watching.
Kristin Kreuk.
All done.